So you ask, how did it all begin? Well, I was about 19 years old. I'd already spent a number of years out on the streets, just getting involved in crime, just hanging out, not doing much. And at the age of 19, because of hanging out with friends, I took up smoking weed. And this led to other things. Eventually, I became a drug dealer. Now, as a dealer, I used to have money, cars, and women. This kind of living got me a little bit of respect in my community, or so I thought. So being seen as one of the boys got me hanging around with all sorts of different characters and made me feel like I'd achieved something in life. We'd sit down, share what other drugs we had. And at one point, I'd even tried cocaine, you know, Charlie, and went on to even try crack cocaine. Now, for some reason or the other, I just could not get off drugs. I was just smoking day in, day out. I was doing it at any given opportunity, and I would have it for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and any other time I could fit it in. And at one point through all this, I even attempted becoming a pimp. Yeah, I had friends who had women out on streets selling their bodies. I got involved in helping them, and I thought that was the next progression. Now, one day I met up with a friend of mine whose life was very similar. We'd lived disjointed lives. But his life had changed. He'd had an experience of God's love. And he began to share this with me, and he got my attention. And through that, I began to read the Bible. I would have a spliff in one hand and a Bible in the other. Now, people who weren't Christians would challenge me and say, "What are you doing?" And all I could say is, "God understands." Now, after reading the Bible, I realized who God was. But then I just turned around and went back to the girls and the drugs. Now, at the age of 26, I'd visited a church. This young man visited me at my home, and then he asked me to make a choice. Do I want to live or do I want to die? I chose to live, and I asked Jesus to come into my life. Now, that evening, I wasn't sure what truly happened. I expected the ground to shake or some thunder and lightning. But what happened the next day? When I woke up and no longer felt a craving to smoke weed, I knew the habit had been broken. I knew God had sent me a sign, and I knew He'd done something in my life. God had completely changed my life for the better. Now, I could say to you that that better meant that I've got a family. Well, yes, I've got a family. Or career. Well, yes, God has blessed me in careers. But it's more than that. It's about the joy. It's about the freedom. It's about the patience He's given me inside. And that sense of knowing there's a purpose to life. And He's given me opportunity to help others whose lives are similar to mine and to see their lives transformed too. But I'm sharing this message with you to say, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, He will forgive you and He'll set you free just like He did me.